Hey everyone, in a world where we're constantly being pushed to upgrade all of our devices, there's still one piece of tech that feels perfect to me after a few years now, and that is my 2021 MacBook Pro. I bought this computer the second it came out almost 4 years ago now, and I know 4 years is not like a crazy long time, but in the world of technology, 4 years does feel like a long time. I spec'd this computer out with the highest end M1 Max processor, 64GB of RAM, and a 4TB SSD. And these specifications might sound a little bit extreme, but I like to be able to do all of my work on this computer as it is my main system. I don't have a desktop computer. This machine is my everything. And a 4TB SSD might sound like a lot, but I like to have all my files on my computer. I want to edit off of my drive instead of having multiple external drives, which I still do. I like to be able to edit everything on my computer. I don't have to worry about space or anything like that. And honestly, I spent a lot on this machine, but I've never once regretted that price tag. Now, since making tech videos like this is kind of my job, I guess, I do get a lot of review units of the new MacBook models, whether it's the MacBook Airs or the MacBook Pros. I've tested a whole bunch of them. I even have the latest M4 MacBook Pro, it's like somewhere back there, but from my testing, my workflow, it doesn't really make that much of a meaningful difference compared to this computer. And trust me, if there was like a crazy big difference, I'd probably upgrade. I love efficiency, I love a faster machine, but for my testing, honestly, I just went back to this computer and I have no regrets. So after 4 years, how has this MacBook Pro held up? Well, design-wise, it looks identical to the new computers. There's really no changes there. The aluminum body has held up pretty well overall. I mean, it looks fairly new. There are a few minor marks from daily use on the cover, but overall, it still looks great. Now, things like the webcam are a little bit dated. It's not the best camera experience for video calls, but the port selection is still solid. And yes, the new MacBook Pros do have Thunderbolt 5, which is faster, but Thunderbolt 4 on this machine is still great. It's still plenty fast for transferring files. And I never use dongles. I'm all in on USB-C. All of my devices now are USB-C, which I love. It's great. And the SD card slot here, I use it constantly. HDMI, rarely, but for traveling or if I'm at like a hotel, I can plug an HDMI cable into a TV or a monitor, and I guess it's a good backup. Over the past few years, I've pretty much never used the MagSafe port. I usually pack a slim 100-watt USB-C charger like this one from Nomad, and one of these retractable USB-C cables I bought on Amazon, and both of these fit in my daily bag, and both of these work for both my phone and my laptop, so I'm covered there. The display here isn't as bright as the new MacBook Pros, and of course I don't have that matte display option, but it's still beautiful and perfectly fine when I'm not plugged into an external monitor. I'm also so glad I went with the 14-inch model here. It's the first time that Apple's introduced this size of laptop, and I love it. I used to always go with the 16-inch model, but this size is perfect. It fits in a small bag, travels easily, and the screen is definitely ideal for my use. We're out here, rooftop at the East Room. This is like the best spot to work for the summer. Like, just come up here with your laptop, crazy view of the city, all these chairs, you can just hang out. This is the best spot. I get to bring all my projects with me everywhere I go, whether it's a coffee shop, on a flight, road trip, or just from my home to studio. I can carry everything with me and do all of that work on this machine. Now when I'm at home or at my studio, I do have these desk setups with these large monitors that I can plug this laptop into, and it really does transform my entire setup. So I like having those desk setups as options when I need to really lock in and do some work that requires a big screen. But back to the computer, everything else here, I have no complaints. The keyboard's great, the trackpad's great. Apple definitely improved on these things from the previous generation MacBook that came before this one. If there's one issue that I have noticed with this machine and how it's held up is, of course, the battery life. I use this laptop every single day, often for pretty power-hungry applications, and the combination of really intensive apps and an aging battery isn't a great combination. Right now I'm at 88% battery capacity and the normal battery rating, so I guess that's fine. But after 4 years of consistent use, I do have to charge more often than I like with this machine, especially while traveling. That being said, I usually do have access to some sort of outlet at home or at the studio or a coffee shop, or I can always pack an external battery pack and plug that in over USB-C if I'm traveling. So it's definitely manageable. The battery life isn't amazing anymore, but that's expected with an aging battery. Okay, so what do I actually use this MacBook Pro for? Well, the main thing is of course video editing. I use Final Cut Pro and it's still super fast, rendering, importing clips, everyday editing. There's no lag here, it just works. It feels exactly like it did on day one. I've handled complex projects with heavy effects, color grading, tons of clips, and it has never let me down once. I rely on this machine. Like, this is my main computer for all of my everyday work with video editing, and it's a beast. Like, what can I say? I have no problems with this computer. I also of course use Photoshop and Illustrator all the time for photo edits, thumbnails, graphic design projects with tons of layers and text, and it handles everything easily. I've also recently been doing 3D design work in Shaper 3D and working with the Bamboo Studio app for 3D printing, and again, zero issues. And for all the day-to-day stuff like emails, web browsing, documents, notes, all of those apps open instantly. Like, it's just click, they pop open, ready to go, and the speed here is something I definitely take for granted on this machine. Apple Silicon is hands down one of the best things that Apple has ever done, honestly. And I don't do any traditional gaming to test out the processor and graphics on this machine. I do use Xbox Game Pass through Safari. I just pair a controller and I can stream games through there, and it all seems to work out very well. Now obviously it is streaming, so it doesn't actually test out the performance of this machine, but that's just personally how I game, and that's what I do on this computer. Now, before this MacBook, I was using the 2019 16-inch MacBook Pro with an Intel i9, and it was solid at first. Like, I had no complaints with it. It was a great machine, but within a few months, it started to really slow down. Overheated constantly, the fans were always on, the port selection was weak, and the battery life was just bad. It was supposed to be my machine for like many years, but like 2 years. That's all it lasted, 2 years, and then I got rid of it. Not good. And before that, I had the 2016 16-inch MacBook Pro with the touch bar, if you remember that thing, and like, that was just not a great computer. I was excited at first because I had the 2012 13-inch MacBook Pro before that, and it was a huge upgrade, but like, looking back, it was just not a great computer at all. Like, that thing, I don't even know where it is today. Like, it's gone off my radar. Like, the keyboard sucked, the battery life wasn't good, the performance really degraded over time. Let's just forget about that machine. And like, reflecting on these old machines, I ask myself what it would take for me to upgrade from this 2021 MacBook Pro to a new MacBook Pro. And I think about it, and honestly, I can't really think of anything that they could change that would convince me to upgrade this computer. And usually with most devices, there's always one thing I wish they could improve, but like, this computer is just perfect. And honestly, like, unless it just completely stops working, I lose it, it breaks, or they just stop supporting it with software, like, I have no reason to upgrade. Would I love a thinner, compact design, but still all of the power of this machine? Sure, of course. But like, do I need it? No. More USB C or Thunderbolt ports? Do I want Thunderbolt 5? Yeah, that'd be great for transferring files, but do I need it? No. A brighter screen for working outdoors, that matte display technology, I love that stuff, but like, do I really need it? I mean, not really. More storage or RAM? I mean, maybe. Like, I've maxed out my storage a few times, I've maxed out my RAM a few times if I had a bunch of applications open. So yeah, like, I go through this checklist, I think about all the things that I would want in a new MacBook Pro, and honestly, like, it's just stuff that I don't really need. Even with like my battery issue, I could probably just get the battery replaced for honestly not that much money and keep using it, which I most likely will do in maybe a year or so. And saying all of this like is a contrast for me. Like, it's a genuine surprise that I'm saying all of this because I upgrade my phone every year, I upgrade my iPad every year. I want to have the latest of these devices, but like with this machine, there's nothing that I would personally change. But with like phones and with the iPad, there's always something that I want that isn't there every year. Now, of course, we do outgrow our things, and I could outgrow this machine over time as the work I do changes. Like, I outgrew my camera, I outgrew my apartment, I had to get a studio space, and these are things that I do when I really need to. And I mean, we'll see what happens, but like, lately I've been wanting to hold on to my things for longer and just make do with the things I have versus constantly chasing like a new upgrade or something new entirely. So, I don't know, maybe that's boring, but that's just where I'm at right now. But let me know what you think. Is there like a mystical dream laptop that you're chasing? What laptop do you currently use? Do you plan to upgrade anytime soon? Like, are you waiting for Apple to do something big with the MacBook Pro if that's what you want to buy? Let me know in the comments down below. Let's have a discussion, and like the video if you liked it, subscribe, and of course, thank you for watching.